Good evening, everybody, and this is Top Rope Talk. I am the sniper, he's the pundit, and we have got a great show for you lined up. So, to those of you all who managed to wake up at the very ass crack of dawn to watch Elimination Chamber Perth, uh, more power to all of us, well, it happened to be my off day anyway, so, but no, actually, the way that I spent it, because I'm a night owl usually anyway, all I did was just watch some late night television. And then I just took a nap. I woke up, and then the kickoff show was on. So, but no, we're definitely going to go over a recap of every single match, and then we're also going to talk about the legacy of Macho Man Randy Savage, and of course, we'll round it out with our finisher DQ segment. So, before we get started, how you doing, partner?
Not bad, not bad. I love. Remember, I told you about the last week. There's another part when we see that opening. I keep thinking that you and I are going to be starting up a Top Rope Talk app.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah,
That actually might not be a bad idea.
yeah. A Top Rope Talk app, and it can be in the idea of like I'm trying to think, the Fast and Furious in 8-bit. In 8-bit.
Fast and Furious in 8-bit. So it would look like Outrun, the old arcade game.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Well,
Yeah.
before we get started, just want to let everybody know that you can check us out, Sideline Sports, on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as LinkedIn as well. The damn thing only let me put it in so many words, but we're also on LinkedIn as Stream TV, SCRIMM TV, and DBTV as well. So let's go ahead and get us started. First match. Well, Becky Lynch has done it. Becky Lynch has punched her ticket to WrestleMania, where she will face the World Women's Champion Rhea Ripley. Um, her having gone through a match like this, and I think this was her first chamber. I believe this was her first chamber, but I have to go back and look that up. But so Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 40, and my question to you is, because Becky Lynch is at the point where she's done it all in her career.
Yeah.
Um, she's won the Royal Rumble. She's literally headlined WrestleMania. It was the closing match of the event. She's won every title except this one. Does winning the World Women's Championship, would this be her final accomplishment?
Probably so, but does she need it? Really by itself. This is the big thing I think about is like, does she have a while or is she going to leave wrestling? I just asked this for myself.
And that's a valid question because, well, she is a mother.
She's a mom, number one. Number two, I've seen her on the show Billions and a couple of other places. Does she want to act? And I asked this more about with different wrestlers now. I mean, we've seen Edge, Randy Orton, we've seen John Cena. We've seen all the stuff. It's like, this isn't just like Hogan and Piper doing their little acting things on the side of the deal anymore. You do this, you can do this and take a couple months off.
Yes.
It's like, and everything. It's like, truthfully, Becky could have a second life as a Marvel character. Really could.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about that for a second. So, really, we're not going to see 40-year. We're not going to see 40-year anymore. 40-year, 30-year like Flair and Hogan and stuff. We're not going to see those anymore.
No.
We're not going to see, and it's fun for stories, but truthfully, we're going to see 10, 15 years tops now.
Yeah, get all the money and notoriety they can, and then leave young. Especially considering that prior to now, the average age of the average age of the pro wrestler that dies is age 54.
Absolutely, and that won't be if you keep doing this. And this is what I think. I think the biggest deal we have now is I think Cody's going to head that way eventually too. Remember, he left home, Marietta, Georgia, to go to L.A. with his dad getting him some money to start.
Right.
He did everything to go to Hollywood. And it's like, mind you, became a wrestler and did all that, but who's to say? I mean, look how impeccable he looks now. Look how everything he looks now. He's been on some shows now. Like, why couldn't he? And it's like, this is perfect. Everybody going to Hollywood's perfect for them to keep resetting their rosters, especially the NXT.
Yeah, very true. I mean, now, is there a chance that Rhea Ripley retains at Mania? That there could be a a giant swerve here, maybe even last minute. And they're like, and Rhea Ripley actually ends up retaining.
Well, if Rhea retains, who's going to beat her? I mean, she already wiped out Nia.
Yeah,
She wiped out Nia. It's like, who beats her? It's like, I mean, remember, she beat Raquel.
she
That's the
did.
biggest one near it. Everybody else is a toothpick.
Yeah, pretty much.
So if she doesn't, who does? And it's like, that's where the issue lies when I talk about the men and women. It doesn't mean the women aren't badass in their own way. I'm just saying this. It doesn't mean they're not. It's what I'm saying is when you have the smaller women like that, Rhea's huge. Rhea's a big woman. There is no more of a believability to a lot of them taking Rhea out as it would have been to Rey Mysterio with Big Show, even though they pulled that crap off.
Right.
There really, I mean, that wasn't believable itself. But as you see, it's different body styles, different body types. It's just what that is, and it's like, so really, Becky needs to beat her because she's the last really step that makes it realistic.
Yeah, she's the last one left, just as Cody is deemed the last one left that could beat Roman. But we'll go on to our next topic here, and that is the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Title match. As you can see, the Judgment Day reigns supreme and retain the titles against New Catch Republic. So, in retaining the championships, who in theory would be the next contenders for the title?
Good question on that, but I was wrong on that part just because I was wrong on that part because I thought he would turn on Finn in the first place because of going after the title. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, but you know what? Why do that when Damian Priest has the chance to be three belt priest?
He has a chance to be 3 belt priest, but there's a perfect thing also to have jealousy, the little
Yeah,
jealousy angle. You know what I mean? All those deals, and it's like, I'll try to be the leader, I'll try to do this. You have those, but good for them. And it's like, who would it be by themselves? This would be a wonderful chance to have the Usos together, but they're not. You know what I mean? This would have
right.
been a wonderful chance to have them together. It just would have. It's like it by itself, but we're going to see what goes. We're going to see what goes with that whole situation. But truthfully, yeah, I mean, if you want to do it, Cable and Shoosh.
Or how about Imperium?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But see, I'm wondering how much they put into that. They put into that storyline from Royal Rumble when they lost and stuff like that, and if there's a breakup.
But you know what? It's also about time that Imperium, like the other two, they start basically, and not saying that you got to break up Imperium, but it's
Right.
time to also kind of develop their own identity as well because it's been less because all of the focus has been on Gunther and the Intercontinental title, right?
Yeah.
So it's been less Imperium and more like Gunther plus two, if that makes any sense.
I'll tell you this. I love their entrance music
Oh yeah, same
because
here. Oh yeah,
I love the entrance music because it's like, especially with Gunther, which I still wish it was Walter. I really do. That's such an awesome name. But I wish it. I love that name because that just, you know what that looks like? That looks like Hannibal Lecter.
yeah.
That looks like when he's coming down the ring, it looks like a dangerous Hannibal Lecter. It looks like Mads Mikkelsen if he played, as Hannibal Lecter.
True.
And it's like, it's just, he's coming down, he's got this classical music going. He's probably cooking something, someone,
Nah,
you know,
yeah.
yeah, and it's all that stuff. And then he just takes his clothes off so nice and everything like that. And then you go try to attack him and he just beats you at half to death.
Yeah.
And it's just like, when I see something like that, it doesn't mean anybody's less weak or anything like that, or they're more weak or they're doing everything. It's the same as when I talk about Angle, and it was Angle and Benoit.
Hmm.
When you see Benoit, who matches his intensity outside of Eddie? Angle.
Angle.
Angle. But you could see Angle hurting him because he matches the intensity.
Right.
Why would you ever have Big Show with Benoit? If you're truthful. If you're truthful, because Benoit has had an Angle both. They had I'm just saying, I'm trying to think that they had stamina all day long.
Right.
They had stamina all day long. They're just going to wear you to death and kick your legs out from you, tear you up.
But you know what? One thing about Benoit, he was strong. I mean, if you know you got Paul White down to the right angle, I think Benoit could legit scoop slam Big Show.
Oh,
He
easily,
was
easily.
strong as hell.
He was, and it's like, but that's the point I'm saying about Walter or Gunther. I'm sorry. That's the reason that's when I say that. It's you just take a look at the guy, look at his movements as a big guy, look at this. Why would you have him do 20-minute matches all day, even though they're great matches?
Yeah.
Unless it was realistic with Gable.
It was realistic with Gable, but you know, you got to be careful with the 20-minute matches with smaller guys. Like him and Sheamus, 20-minute match.
Yeah.
Him and Drew, 20-minute match. Everyone else on average, unless you're on the level of a Gable or a Jey Uso, should be shorter than 20 minutes.
Yeah, and that's where I try to talk about, like, when our little debates and stuff like this. When it comes to your match, when it comes to an athletic monster, why? Like, okay, we'll just say it with Angle. Why are you having everybody give him 10 minutes on Raw?
Yeah.
I mean, why would you do that? Why would you? I mean, even Shawn. And Shawn was a great performer, but he was never a wrestler. You know, he was never they had their match, and because he's so good at selling, and you can be able to do that. But why have anything even?
Yeah. I mean, one could argue probably his best wrestling performance was the Iron Man match.
Well, it really was, and it's like, and that's not a thing against Shawn. I think Shawn was awesome, but performer over wrestler.
Yeah.
So when those two are having a 50-50 match together, it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why isn't Angle beating the living hell out of him and he gets lucky?
Yeah, but even in the Iron Man match, because Shawn has had to do things prepping for the match and in the match that he hadn't done. He had to go tit for tat wrestling on the mat with Bret Hart, which is very hard to do, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then going into the match, the training, he said, I focus more on cardio than anything else because 60 minutes, right?
Yeah.
You know, so Shawn had to actually pull out elements about himself that he had never, because he's not a mat for mat guy against anybody else, not against Owen, not against like anyone else, but he had to up in that game for Bret Hart, who could probably wrestle us into the mat in his 60s right now.
Yep, absolutely. And I will tell you this: if there was one thing, I love that Angle Michaels match, so don't get that wrong. But if I was to have an Angle Michaels match, I would have had a three match series where Angle just crushes him the first time. And it's a little more in the second, and then Michaels finishing, but he has to take a break.
Yeah.
He has to take a break, like he gets broken in half. He has to take a break and learn how to find himself. And then, because you got to put Angle over as dangerous.
You do.
You have
that's why I loved ECW Angle. He was more real. He was more authentic. You know, he had the wrestling shoes. He had the mouthpiece. He looked like he was he could legit hit the octagon.
Well, the only one man they really ever put over as truly this deadly dangerous was Brock.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Undertaker, but that's a character. But truly deadly dangerous is Brock Lesnar. Just the movement on him, the strength, the power, the speed, the way he just destroyed you in minutes.
Yeah.
And I think Angle should have been that. Angle should have been that, except for the main eventers.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. Well, we'll go on to our next matchup here, and yes, he did it, ladies and gentlemen. Drew McIntyre punched his ticket to WrestleMania by winning the Men's Elimination Chamber match. So, first question: could this match steal WrestleMania? Everyone is looking at Lynch, Ripley. Everyone's looking at Reigns, Cody, and everything like that. But could this match be the one that steals WrestleMania?
Yeah, this could be Macho and Steamboat at that time. There's no question about it. And he needs to win it.
He does need to win.
He needs to win it because and he needs to win it, and we need to hope and pray the government doesn't bring up another COVID and shut everything down again. Yeah. That would just be his luck. But it's like he needs to win it. It's like the guy. But that's the big thing with McIntyre. McIntyre's another guy for the movements that he has. He doesn't need to be doing losing streaks. The Solo Sikoa does not even do losing streaks. They
True.
do these stupid losing streaks on the wrong guys.
Yeah.
I can see losing streak on Sami Zayn because
Right.
he's such an amazing baby face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's such an amazing baby face that goes from underneath and and an underdog. I can see one with him. You know, you could put a story around it.
Of
But
course.
you could do a story because he's doing that. But why are you doing it against guys that are supposed to be killers?
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, Solo Sikoa is a killer. Why are you doing a 24-match losing streak?
Yeah. And it's like the only time he shows up is to go and help out Reigns or somebody. Solo should be running through everybody.
Yeah, well, he ran. That's the thing. He ran through Cena. He ran through Cena, and he's ever since then he's had a losing streak. It's like really, like, what does that do with Cena? It means nothing to Cena. It means nothing to beat Cena if you're gonna do that.
Yeah.
If you're Cena's supposed to be your monster, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
beat Undertaker and they beat Undertaker. That's my point. Is guess who beat Undertaker? Brock Lesnar. It
Mm-hmm.
shot him to the universe.
Oh, yes.
Shot him to the universe. See, it's like if they ever find him innocent of what the charges were, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Oh, and then here's another one. SummerSlam 2014. Roman Reigns defeats Randy Orton.
Yeah.
That victory shot him to the Royal Rumble victory.
Yeah.
And then on from there.
Oh yeah, and those are the things. It's like truth, and it's like really, truthfully, which we're gonna bring up with Macho Man later. If you know how to do it right, and sometimes I don't believe he did, but we'll bring that up later. You do it right, beating somebody brings you to the moon.
Yeah.
Brings you to the moon, and it's like, and that's the thing. It's like Randy Orton. I think if Randy Orton was that original song, Randy Orton, the cocky guy, it wouldn't have mattered. The Dangerous Viper, yes.
Yes.
The Viper,
Absolutely.
because he doesn't lose often.
Right, right. And so with that being said, and the last match of the evening, no, not that one. This one. Yes, Rhea Ripley came home with her family in attendance. This has to be the first time in miles and miles and miles ago that she really got the true face treatment. But Rhea Ripley came home and finally defeated Nia Jax, a woman that had gotten the best of her in various segments for the past few months now. And just when it was thinking like, oh man, she may have met her match. How's Rhea gonna stop Jax and everything? And she pulled out everything, all the stops, surviving a table attack, surviving the Annihilator, managed to get her up in the Riptide and put her down the first time as well, which I thought was a great call.
I'd be shocked. I would have been shocked if she couldn't get up in the Riptide. I'd been shocked. Rhea is a monster.
Yes, she's strong.
She is woman version of Cam Newton. She is strong. Yeah. She's strong.
Mm-hmm.
That would have shocked me if she couldn't get her up.
Yeah, absolutely. But just as with Becky Lynch, right? And would that be the final accomplishment in winning the World Women's Championship? It's almost like this matchup coming up at WrestleMania 40 is going to be the not necessarily an outlier. And also considering that Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair stole WrestleMania last year, this is another match that could steal a WrestleMania. But just as on the side as when I said, would this be Becky's final accomplishment to complete her career? Would a victory over Lynch at WrestleMania 40 solidify Rhea as GOAT status?
Well, I wouldn't say GOAT, but it's like it's up there. But I can say this. If she ever does the babyface thing, do Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Do Stone Cold. She doesn't. I mean, you've got the look now. She's got a perfect look, and she's got the Jim Cornette seal of approval.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you got a Jim Cornette, to people that don't listen to the show, and a lot of people do, when you got a Jim Cornette seal of approval as a woman, it's right. It's correct. People think that Jim Cornette doesn't want women's wrestling. That's wrong. Cornette wants it real. Ripley is real. Becky Lynch is real. They look like they come down the ring. They're the facials. They're everything. You know what I'm saying? Just
right.
They look like fighters. They look everything. He would try to get Raquel. He tried to get Raquel Rodriguez as a main eventer. Just real. He isn't gonna put Xena. He isn't gonna put he ain't gonna put a matchstick in there.
Yeah.
He isn't gonna put a matchstick in there. That was the point of that. That was the point of that match in Puerto Rico, going 15-20. I really believe this match means even more if Nia's getting destroyed for a couple months, than winning. But everybody has the memory that a little matchstick took her down.
Yeah.
That should have been. I'm sorry, that should have been a wrong. I know you're trying to give her time, but 55 seconds. That's a 55-second match. It should have been.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. It doesn't. It did nothing to help Rhea. It did nothing to help Rhea. And it would have really meant something if she's destroying everyone. And Nia finally comes in.
Yeah.
Rhea doesn't destroy everyone like she should.
Yeah, true. And and I said this right when Rhea won the championship. I said they can book her as a female Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Well, and you see elements of it.
Rhea Ripley is this is the thing. There's a lot of these wrestlers, and see, I'm going to bring up Paul White, Big Show, okay? They were talking about, oh yeah, he could have been the Giant, but he was bored with that. I think he lost so damn much money. I really do. Paul White did. I really did. He lost so much money over the years. He spent 3-4 years of his whole career over and over, basically putting everybody over.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, including Rey Mysterio. True. I'm not talking about 3-4 years straight. I'm talking about overall. You know, when he would get his thing, then they tried to make him look dangerous, face Cena. Then he'd go back to be, that kind of deal. Yeah. They never kept him consistent. And it's like, yeah, I'm bored. Then go get a dance partner.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of what they were doing to Omos, Build him up as unstoppable just to lose the Lesnar. Build him up as unstoppable just to lose the, X person at a pay-per-view. I can't recall the last time Omos won at a pay-per-view.
Omos needs to destroy somebody at a pay-per-view. If you're going to do something. As I said, if he was so bored, if Paul White is so bored, truthfully, why? I mean, go find yourself some dance partners and go have the match and make it really realistic. Mm-hmm. It's like, I mean, truthfully, because you, like I said, he wasted about 3-4 years of his existence in the wrestling business doing all that kind of stuff, and they can do that to Rhea also. It's like she does not need to sell to everybody on Earth. No, and I don't like selling to everybody on Earth. I want it to make sense.
Yes.
Yeah, I want it to make sense, and that's my thing with her. I want it to make sense with. I don't mind the little matchsticks. I'm gonna call them matchsticks. I don't mind the little matchsticks. They're facing each other. They're still athletic. They're still athletic. They're still fun. They're still strong. They're like 110 pounds. They probably could pick. They could probably pick you or me up. Truthfully, I mean, because you think about that, or they're pretty close. Doesn't mean they're not strong. It's just, it's not unless you really have the offense for it. No. And Rhea has the offense for anybody.
Yeah, she's the more well-rounded out of both of them. Well, let's see. We got a couple more topics going on, but and this one here was requested by my partner here, and as you can see,
wrong macho. That's that wrong macho man. That's Jay Lethal.
That's macho.
That's Jay Lethal.
Well, shoot. I guess
no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
That definitely looked just like him.
I know. That's Jay Lethal, though. And I can tell from the body. But don't worry about it because Jay Lethal was awesome as Macho.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But no, but it's about Macho Man,
Yeah, it is. And so the legacy of one of the greatest performers ever, Macho Man Randy Savage, guy from Sarasota, Florida, who also was a pretty decent baseball player as well, but went
Yeah.
on and catapulted himself to superstardom. So much so that you got guys like Jay Lethal who took on his persona. And man, I swear to God, dude, from up close, I was like, yeah, that's Macho, But yeah, anyhow, you wanted this topic. Please shed some light on it.
When I think of Macho Man, and I think of this and stuff like that, and you watch these type of deals, he was so giving, he was too giving.
Yeah.
He's so giving to the thing. He literally, and I'm not kidding you. I heard this story from Jim Cornette. He had Bruiser Bedlam in Smoky Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Big guy who was actually a prisoner, but for real, He wanted to get him over. He wanted to get him over, but there wasn't a lot of guys that could really get him over, and he was running out of them.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a match with Savage, expected Savage to beat him, wouldn't have been a big deal, and everything like that. Macho came in there, personally said to him, well, yeah. Or whatever, I can't do the whole thing. It's like, I'm going to be leaving the territory. Can I put him over tonight? And, yeah. So Bruiser Bedlam had a pin on Macho Man. The cheating, doing all that stuff, and it's like, until he passed away, he had that forever, and he had that memory, and it was like, and then Macho did that for DDP.
Right.
He did it for DDP. He said, I think I'm going to take the diamond cutter tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did. He was, like I said, he was so giving, he was too giving. And then the fact that a character like that could have been huge with movies,
Mm-hmm.
but when you think of Hulk Hogan, who absolutely did think of himself. Let's be honest. Absolutely did think of himself.
Yes.
One of the greatest, probably the most known and greatest performer, as in worker of all time. Because worker also means
he also was the most selfish. But go ahead.
Yeah. But here's what I'm saying: worker of all time, knew how to get them. To this day, 70 years old, I promise you, he'd start out with a friendly clap. Remember the whole thing with Mean Gene?
Mm-hmm.
With Mean Gene, and the place, the whole standing ovation after Mean Gene passed. And they started out with a very, very, Hogan doesn't get those big pops anymore. And by the time it was over with and he got that promo out of the way, the whole place was standing.
Right.
I mean, to this day, he could do that. He knows how to do it, but he's selfish. Mm-hmm. He's selfish. Macho, his whole thing, his whole legacy is the fact that he wanted the business better than he left it. Mm-hmm. Better than he started it. He wanted it left better. And which means he was able to go out. He wanted to have a 2-year goodbye for Shawn Michaels, like a goodbye deal, where he'd start babyface and healed, and then would flip it around, and they would have a goodbye and give it to Shawn, and they say goodbye.
Yeah.
To the and they would say no, we want ourselves we'll get a youth movement. This is where Vince is stupid. Why wouldn't you with Hulk Hogan gone? That's your good thing. Why wouldn't you have a 2-year deal with Shawn and Macho?
Exactly.
Especially when Macho's facing Doink and Repo Man. Why wouldn't you do that? That's the thing. It's like, I really think that his character looks stupid as a babyface, because he keep running into 17 people and gets butt kicked all the time. But
yeah, he was the same in WCW also.
He always just wanted to. Everybody would blame Hogan for Macho, but odds are Macho was the one just coming up with the ideas to make him. Even though Hogan would be selfish and he knew it. Yeah. Odds are he came up with the ideas. Because
the ideas, but how many times was it originally Savage is going to beat Hogan, and then there was some change because
Yeah. Well, and I think that this business that we talk about, that you wanted to be in, and I remember I wanted to be a promoter. Remember? Mm-hmm. And this one we wanted to be in. How many times do we see that it takes both to make the world go round?
Of course.
The selfish. Because you also, no matter how selfish Hogan is everything. I mean, go to any autograph signing, and he's filling the doors 3 miles behind.
Of course.
It's like, and it was because you could barely beat him, and they gets the idea. It's the image,
Yeah.
and at the same time, Macho was the one that kept these guys going and kept them flowing. He put them all over.
Yeah. He did. And but see, that's the thing, because you talk about the autograph session with Hogan, right?
Yeah,
Flair could have listed those same results, and he was unselfish. He created stars and still
yeah.
managed to win the belt 16 times and still managed to become, the greatest ever. You know what I mean? Um, so with Macho Man, and again, he should have beaten Hogan. He should have. I think they really screwed up on WrestleMania 5, but that's just me.
Um, he. You want to know where it would have been, where it would have mattered? I'm just saying this. You want to know where it would have mattered if he would have beat, with Hogan beat him at WrestleMania 5? You know where it would have mattered?
Hmm.
It would have mattered if Macho beat him on some house shows and pinning him, even if it was cheating on house shows.
Mm-hmm.
Then, because it didn't matter when the world saw for 2 years Hogan pinning him all the time
All right.
and everything. If he would have beaten him on some house shows in '89, then Hogan coming back on that, it would have mattered.
Then
But
it would have mattered, yeah.
it
But
would
then,
have,
but these are house shows that we can't see.
right, and they would have, yeah, and you're right on that. But even
So all
then,
we see is Hogan continually beating Savage.
yeah,
If we would have seen on the WWE Superstars Savage beat Hogan, okay, good.
yeah,
The world saw Savage beat Hogan. That's all we asked for. You
yeah,
know?
and those, the thing like that, and you're correct on that. The thing with Flair, when I call Hogan a worker, and I say this, Japan showed he could work in a certain way.
Mhm.
Hulk would never have the confidence. He'd have the confidence with the crowd as a performer. Remember, he was a musician. He was a musician.
Yes.
He wouldn't. As a musician, you have the crowd in the proud of your hands. That's why he knew so well. That's why
Right.
he's so darn good. But as somebody who would put 20-minute, 30, 25-minute matches together, got to remember his last 25-minute match was Rock, who could carry him so well, even though they got one was carrying the crowd and one was carrying the match.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing with him, the thing with that thing is, I don't think he has the confidence in the in-ring to be able to lose as much
True.
as a Flair or a Macho and stay over.
He lost more in WCW.
He did, but by that point he was also a heel.
Yep.
He had an old school babyface wins all the time, heel loses all the time. Big deal, and then he can lie and cheat.
But even in the NWO's heyday, when they would cheat to win, and it was like, who's going to beat Hogan? Because he still lost more in WCW than in WWF.
Oh yeah, but I'm like, I really believe that for what he was doing, and he had all that. I really believe that his thought process was he wouldn't have the same work ethic or the same work as Macho or Flair to be able to stay over and after losing. To be able, Macho and Flair are master workers.
Yes.
Hogan was a master performer. Matt Hogan's a master performer. As like I said, truthfully, I know very well that all Hulk ever said about Metallica was just a tryout. Even though people will bring that up, Hogan would be a better guitarist than he would a wrestler.
Yeah.
He'd been a better lead guitarist building the crowds up 70,000 people than he would have been a wrestler. His knowledge of music to this day. I like to watch him talk music more than I do wrestling.
Oh, okay.
I do when he's doing interviews. I would rather have all of us put Hogan on top rope. That would be awesome, and we talk music. I would rather a couple minutes of wrestling. Everybody does that. Talk music. Listen to him. His knowledge is ridiculous.
Nice. Well, we do have to get to our we have about 5 minutes left, and this is our weekly finish or DQ. So the way that the men's elimination chamber match ended, and those of y'all who didn't watch, Randy Orton had the match won. He had just RKO'd Drew McIntyre when Logan Paul came in with the brass knucks after Orton had eliminated Paul and socked Orton right in the jaw, knocking him out, and McIntyre gets the victory. So, finisher DQ, WrestleMania 40. Logan Paul will defend the United States Championship against Randy Orton. Finisher DQ.
Oh, it'll be a finish. There's no question about that. Biggest thing is, does a Randy Orton need that belt? It's not a huge belt.
I was just going to mention that because if you think about it, a United States champion, a second U.S. title victory does nothing for his career. But also, is it about just getting the belt off of Logan Paul? After all, he is a part timer. It's time to get that belt back in full rotation.
Yeah, it's like, but I'm like this. I've been saying over and over where I want that belt to go to begin with. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it would be big for Logan to get it over. I mean, Logan's really, remember, he's had his matches. He's had thought process with Ricochet. He's had his match. He had Roman, but Roman beat him. Roman beat him. He's lost a lot of big matches and had great matches on the thing. Does it matter when he's not a full timer to beat the big guy? You know what I'm saying? To beat the big guy doesn't matter when you're not, because in truth, no one remembers Pat McAfee getting his ass kicked by Vince McMahon. No, because he was out 8 months after.
Yeah.
He was out 8 months after. No one, and then Vince was gone. I mean, people's attention span got there. You know. Oh, sweet! It said Diddy was sued for sexual assault by a male employee.
Oh boy.
Sweet. But I just saw it on TMZ. But that's the thing about a part timer. Is it matter if they're gone? Because absolutely everybody still pops for Pat McAfee. And he lost to a 74-year-old man, 75-year-old man.
Yeah, and that's great. And that's great to bring The Rock back every now and again for a match, to bring Cena back and everything. But here's the thing that you risk doing, because we've already seen it with Brock Lesnar. If you belt these guys and then they take off for months at a time, people stop caring about the championship. It happened years ago with Brock Lesnar. He was the Universal Champion. He just wrestled a match, and then he was gone for like maybe 3 or 4 months. And people literally were like, the Universal Championship? Man, who cares? Like, the Intercontinental Championship was a more important title at the time. That's how bad it was. That's the type of stuff that Vince McMahon used to do. These are your top championships. The Universal Championship, the WWE Championship, these are world titles. They're on the same plane. You never lose the audience on a world championship, on what's supposed to be the most important belt in your promotion. How would WCW look if the television championship people were deeming more prestigious as the world heavyweight title?
Oh, I know. And it's like, because here's the thing, that Arn Anderson was wrestling every week. Arn was wrestling every week, and it was like, really, overall, NXT, it was going to be, I think it's going to have itself as change. Personally, to me, I still want the old black back, the full-fledged black and gold. I just do. But NXT is going to have to be a rotation now, because, like I said, we ain't going to, I think the last full-timer, and he's only been 12 years, will be Roman Reigns, the last long-term. Because he's like, what, 12, 15 years?
Yeah.
I mean, that's about it.
Yeah.
That'll be the last. That's going to be the last, truthfully, because movies. They all going to, this isn't, like I said, this isn't the biggest of the biggest. Everybody's got a shot. Edge already had Edge already had 3 movies and a TV series.
Already, yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's already had that, and he could be able to get, I mean, plus you go to AEW, plus you go to Impact Wrestling and TNA. You can go to MLW. You can go to 1,000 places to be able to get that. You can rotate them out. So much better now. You won't get tired of somebody like you would Cena.
No, you wouldn't. Well, with that being said, that's the end of our telecast. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Also, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to Sideline Sports on YouTube, Sideline Sports on Twitter, as well as Sideline Sports on Facebook, Gauntlet Sports Media on Facebook, Denzel Snipes on Facebook, Jacob Christner on Facebook as well. Also, where can everybody reach you as far as social media?
Well, I am on Reddit now. I'm on Reddit, the Pundit's Pundit. I am on TikTok. I am on Twitter or X. I'm on those things, and plus the fact I do some writing for the Sideline Sports Net and for Inscriber Magazine.
All right. And so for the myself and the pundit, we will be seeing you all next week where we will continue on the road to WrestleMania. You all have a great
Yep.
evening.